something here a little bit different. Determined. Welcome one and all to those who are here or who will be here, hopefully. I don't put too much emphasis on who is here. I do these lives for a later viewing, and it seems to be working out. The moment that I hit 1,000 followers on YouTube, I'll then be able to go mobile live, and then it'll be a little bit more like TikTok, which is just keeps restricting my account for no other reason than I'm talking. So we have that. Good morning, one and all. As you know, I've been at this since the 6th of January. Today is the 6th of July. So it has been 1/2 year since I began to rail on what occurred on January 6th. And the interesting thing about this is a lot of folks don't really pay attention to the fact that the government here, they want to forget what happened. Principal key figures in the United States government wish to downplay the events of January 6th. And those are the events that triggered me into beginning, I guess, to get vocal and to get heard. Now, it's not, I don't do this for anything more than maybe someone will hear me, and the fact that if I don't do this, I'd probably lose my mind if I didn't say something. Because as I've conveyed over numerous videos, just the thought of the continuous nature of our effort to get their attention is not it's not an inviting and welcoming thought. Because again, certain circumstances, I'm just gonna say out loud, as long as these circumstances are in play, it's difficult for me with any sincerity to continue an open and honest dialogue. I think it's in our best interest to recess into our own respective corners and tend to our own house. And I mean that with all respect. I don't say it as a means of separating in as much as we are already separated. But if this is going to happen, and it seems it is going to happen, let's at least do it right and according to what I think is scripturally based, to separate from Gentiles. But let's just face it, folks, we're strangers here. We're foreigners here. Everybody else came here welcome. And that's just the truth. There's no ignoring that any longer. They've been treating us as we have been unwelcome for quite a while. They talk about give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. But that applies to everyone that came here voluntarily, doesn't it? Am I suddenly going to get on board with the supposed American dream because I happen to be here? Especially when I happen to be here as a direct result of an enslavement, a wrong that has never been righted, nor will it ever be considered righted. It will never. So, yeah, forgive me if I take the path of, the path of least resistance. That path of least resistance is a realized path. It's not a path of least resistance that I just have seen. For God's sake, since and before the 60s, black people in this country have been imploring white people to act decent. And I can read news articles from Saturday morning of a bunch of hooded thugs determined to express their sentiment for white supremacy in Philadelphia on July 4th. So please forgive me if I'm not going to preach, all peaches and cream and everything's hunky-dory. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say it's time, I think, we just take them at the... What didn't Maya Angelou say that? Good morning. How you doing? Guys, I have to tell you, I got news in front of me and I got you guys over here. So I'm trying this new format. I'm leading into it. The format is I'm going to read the headlines, our headlines. I'm going to read news from our headlines, and I'm hoping that you follow along. Now, I'm going to tell you how I did this because I want you guys to understand what I'm doing. I did this by opening up a search engine. This time I used Bing. And I typed 2 words in Microsoft Bing. I typed black news. That's all I did. Y'all can do the same thing. And I looked for all direct URLs to black news sources. And I came up with, first, yourblackworld.net. Actually, that's last. Everything I'm saying is in reverse order that came up. Yourblackworld.net. And then I got blackstarnews.com. I don't know if I'm going to read that, but it says black news. Nice black news. Then I got www.revolt.tv. Revolt Black News. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm going to look into it. blackculturenews.com. Got that. blackamericaweb.com, category news. And of course, atlantablackstar.com, news1.com, The Root. Everybody knows. Thank you, Karen. Everybody knows The Root is good for some good information. thegrio.com, and finally, blacknews.com. So here's why I'm doing this. Here's the reason I'm not going to pay attention to chat. I'm going to pay more attention to the news that I have in front of me in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tabs that I have open. I'm going to close the search tab, which was just black news. I don't need that. I'm going to start from the back because that was the first. And we're going to just go down the line of what we'll find in today's latest news under the search term black news under, at this point, Bing. And we're going to use what I read, what we learn, the information imparted to black people in this country today. We're going to use that information to substantiate, nay, to I would say justify the current stance I promote, which is complete and total denial of our energy in the face of caucasity. Now, I don't mean white people. I don't care. We have to separate from people that promote a specific worldly lifestyle. I've named it caucasity. You can name it whatever the fuck you want. I'm not here to preach to you. What I am going to do is do my best to tell you why by reading some latest headlines involving us, news that involves us, by reading it and letting you make your own fucking decision as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I'm going to tell you something before I begin. For those of you that have some kind of fucking comment or feel some kind of way about my language, let me tell you something. I grew up an orphan. Everything I learned by observation, raised by wolves, if you will. Okay? And the fact of the matter is, what I've found is the hypocrisy of anyone having any offense with my language is extreme. Because I've seen some of the people that you consider decent, who don't use foul language, who don't use what you consider profanity. And these motherfuckers are doing some heinous ass fucking shit. They won't say a fucking curse word to save their life. They got a stick so far up their fucking ass because they're either in church trying to show off there or in the public life trying to show off there. And by God, the secrets these motherfuckers keep would curl your fucking toes at night. But let me tell you something. They don't curse. They don't talk like me. So here's what I'm trying to do. I want to make sure that I separate myself from fucks like that. I'm not a goddamned reverend because I'm irreverent. Okay? I'm not ministering to you because I'm not a fucking minister. I don't want anyone to get confused. I'm not Reverend Al. I'm not Jesse. I'm not any of them. I'm just a black man in America that's done. And fuck you. And I feel that to express it in this manner, see, I don't want them with that false admiration. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, guys? I don't want them coming at me with the bullshit because I'm putting it nice. And they think, well, since you're so, man, because look, when you come at me with that, oh my goodness, Doug, we agree with you. We just feel some of your point, man, shut the fuck up. I didn't ask you. And I mean that shit. I'm talking to brothers, sisters, allies. I'm not talking to a single motherfucker that disagrees with me. How about that? Now, why? Because this says Doug Rice, the one and only on the motherfucker. That's why. Now, again, I do these lives to build hopefully up to 1,000 people eventually. And of course, when TikTok's acting a fucking fool. Also, when I don't have enough battery to do a TikTok live, which I will do after this because I got shit plugged in. So I want to just say that about profanity. I don't want you to think it's intentional. It's intentional. I'm this motherfucker for real, 100% all day. And people know it. People know me. People have my Facebook. People see my Twitter. I've been kicked off Twitter. So I mean, for God's sake, folks, I'm banned out of several Circle K's. I'm banned out of all kind of places. I get kicked out of places all the time because I fucking say it. So, so I'm not trying to be what, some would consider a celebrity. I wouldn't mind doing this for a fucking living. But at the same time, for me, this is therapeutic. I like this shit. So I'm just going to keep doing it. All right. Profanity done. Fuck off. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. I'm not giving two fucking damns. Your fucking pastor don't use profanity. The motherfucker's been lying to you motherfuckers for years. Shit, really? You don't want me to use profanity, but you listen to that fucking clown. Yeah, fucking break. Get out of my face. Let's start with Black. I'm sorry. 16 people. Ooh, I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to look. All right, so let's start with blacknews.com. Start with blacknews.com. So we got the front page, blacknews.com. Blacknews.com. Girls Don't Pray. Black author releases book that helps women recognize its toxic relationship, red flags. Let me say this about that. If you don't recognize toxic relationship, red flags, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I'm not going to write a book about it. Okay, military base welcomes first ever Black-owned natural hair care vending machine. Thank you. Nationwide. That's the news source. Cindy Tawai, CEO and founder of Diva by Cindy, has expanded her natural hair vending machine brand to heights of the armed forces. Okay, great. I like that. That's good. All right. Now, I know y'all knew I was going to do this. Look, thank you for catching me. But it says Black owned. Let me address this vernacular they tend to shove down our throats. When you say Black owned, and the last name is Tawaya, which is Tawayah, and by the look of this young woman, she appears to be Black. But Black is not Negro in this country. And it's a backhanded, skewed shout out to an accomplishment made by us that has not been made by us, really. And I call that shit out. I do. Do not be disingenuous with the fucking flattery, please. If the motherfucker's an immigrant, he's not Black. You don't like that? I don't fucking care. Black is Negro. Does everybody understand this? I mean, I don't mean to be petty, but when you say Black people, motherfuckers, you mean Negroes. You mean the progeny of slaves. You mean those of us here, directly put here by the transatlantic slave motherfucking trade. I don't mean some motherfucker that came over here a few years ago on some fucking visa that opened up some shit and did some shit. Don't brag to me about that. Nowhere. I'm not fucking interested. You don't like that? Pit her away, motherfucker. That's why I'm here. And I'm going to say this because it's important you understand it. It feels good to say that. I mean, I mean that. It feels so fucking good to say that shit right there. Because it's the truth, motherfuckers, and you know it. You know it. For years, they've been giving these motherfuckers who claim to be us, that act like us, they act like us so good, they put them in movies, give them Oscars, because they have portrayed the black experience having nothing to do with it. Having no real relation to it. Yet they are handed a script, invited to come over from mainly the UK, sometimes Africa. They know how to put, what's happening, right? And they can fool you. You know what I'm saying? Right? You like, yeah, find out what's happening. Where you from, partner? Yes, I'm from Uganda. Hold up, man. What happened right there, man? Oh, dog, I'm cool. I was just trying to, I'm getting into the role, Nah, man, you can't do that shit around me no more, dog. You feel me? They profiting off appropriation of our character. You better think about that, and y'all better understand. Look and check my fucking math. How many of these motherfuckers can play us, be us, talk like us, walk like us, got that swag like us, ain't never been us a day in their motherfucking life? The fuck is going on? So I take this particular news article with a grain of salt. I don't like the name. I'm sorry. I had to say it. Fuck it. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. That's who I am. Fuck, move on. All right. Any comments? Hit that like. Sorry. How you doing? How's everybody doing? I'm sorry. I mean, I got y'all over here. I got the news here. I ain't trying because I know today. Today is the 6th of July. Today is 180 days to the day, 6 months to the day that I started this shit, got on this motherfucker, and I have not stopped, and I ain't gonna fucking stop. If you think that I'm gonna let the days of that events of that day wane in my mind like they hoping, like they praying for, like they preaching about, they're telling you. I need y'all to understand. One of the dudes that was seen trying to barricade himself in the Capitol, looking terrified as to what may happen, is literally saying publicly now that the whole thing was just a misunderstanding and tourists. How in line? Let me tell you something. You think these fools ain't having meetings and not discussing the fact that they've investigated this shit and the people implicated just can't go down? It just can't happen. It'll break the GOP. It'll destroy the GOP. If you motherfuckers let out exactly your involvement with January 6th, the GOP will no longer be done. And that's just the fucking truth. Cash the check, it will pass. All right, so here we go. So I'm digging this. A lot of black-owned stuff here. So blacknews.com, I like this. Black nonprofit founder launches unique campaign to help relieve tension and stress. She launches a unique campaign to help relieve tension and stress. Black nonprofit founder launches unique campaign. Wish you open up a fucking massage parlor. Don't fuck with me, man. Something fishy about that. I'm sorry, but I'm just... Rosalind Tompkins, president and founder of the nonprofit organization Mothers in Crisis, has launched 10,000 Balls for Hope. Look, the shit makes itself. I can't make this shit up. The shit writes itself. I'm not even going to touch that one. You see where I went, and look where it took me. I'm going to leave it alone. I swear to God, if there was ever any danger of public fucking trip with this, it went away as soon as I read it. So I'm going to leave that be. I won't read that one. Okay. Siblings. Oh, here's a news article, folks. I'm glad everybody's here. That's BS. Thank you, Daisy. Here's a news article. Listen to this one again. Blacknews.com. Pay attention, folks. Siblings in Atlanta team up to pay off their mom's mortgage. So fucking what? How's that news? I don't give a fuck. So you did what you supposed to do. You tripping, really? So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of you, 9 of you got together and paid off your mom's fucking mortgage. What did you do? Get about $150 together each? I'm not impressed. Moving on. New business. Okay. First psychologist releases first ever therapy card deck for Black men. So this is going to take off right here. Y'all need to just fucking spread this, because now I think I've found my whole form and factor. I think I've found the whole program dynamic, the whole whatever you want to call it. I just look up news, good, bad, and different. I can smack it upside the head, because this one is about to get hurt. Here's the reason why. I'm going to read the headline again. Again, folks, this from blacknews.com, dated today. Black psychologist releases first ever therapy card deck for Black men. Now, I don't have a problem with that headline per se, but here's the thing. Dr. Ebony is a female. So how you going to release anything psychology-based for Black men being a Black woman? I'm sorry, you can take it somewhere else. There's no logic you're going to use that will convince me. Ridiculous. Moving on. First Black male to become a full professor at the University of Ohio. So here's this one, a little side note again, folks, blacknews.com. Look for yourself. Yeah, who is behind the deck of cards? Right. What are you fucking talking about? Who's behind the deck of cards? Fuck yeah. Really? Who's behind the deck of cards? Who did she pass this by? Because it ain't like me, a one-man motherfucker. Nothing passes by anybody except me. Okay? She's got a group of motherfuckers that got involved and said, now, how do we want the psychology of Black men to be affected? Dr. Ebony, I have some ideas. How you even gonna write a book like that and try to tell us how we supposed to think the psychology? You seriously want, man, if you don't get the fuck away from me, this matriarchally based bullshit. I don't believe in that bullshit. Sorry, I don't. Fuck off. Motherfuckers are so unused to strong Black males, they don't know how to fucking act around them. Motherfucker tell you to go fuck off and stay the fuck over there, shut the fuck up. Motherfuckers start feeling some kind of way. I don't give a fuck. Nobody's going to tell me that a chick's going to tell me how my psychology should somehow be affected by her interpretation put on a card deck for Black men. Fuck out of here. Moving on. New news. What? Okay, I didn't think so. Remember, y'all are over here. The news is over here. I ain't trying to be disrespectful. But when I look over here, that's screen number 3. So I don't know. It's okay. Moving on. 50-year-old deaf mom with 2 kids graduates from college a year early. Hold up. 50-year-old deaf mom with 2 kids graduates from college a year early. I don't know what to think about that story. I mean, a testimony to our stick-to-itiveness and tenacity. Fuck, well, we survived 400 years slavery. So I figure one of us being deaf with a couple of kids should be able to finish up school early. I don't know. Am I setting the bar low? Is it me? It's me. I'm insensitive. I'm a little bit of a dick. I don't mind telling you that. But this one, what the fuck do you mean? What? She's a 50-year-old deaf mom with 2 kids, and she graduates from college a year early. She gets a byline. Really? I'm glad she graduated from college a year early. I mean, if she had also won gold for the track at the same time, I might have been impressed. But they got single mothers finishing doctorate degrees with 12 kids. Every day! I'm sorry. I'm not going to set the bar that low for fucking news. Fuck off. Boom. Okay. I kind of like this. I like it, right? Good for her. I'm cool with the good for her. But you know, Do we really need to? We don't have to punch up for goddamn, kudos. I don't need that one. I'm sorry. Y'all can take that one back. And that's what I would say for you. Yeah, good for you. Excuse me. You see this one over here? She has 6 kids. 6. All of them in school, age students. Holds 2 full-time jobs and is finishing up her master's degree. About to go for her doctorate. So I'm trying to figure out why the deaf mom with a couple of kids graduated a year earlier is such a big goddamn news story. Yes, I did say that, motherfuckers. Moving on. All right. Okay, I can take a lot from this. I like this. Okay, President, I'm going to be positive, of course. I'm just fucking around. Stop. President of Chicago Teachers Pension Fund oversees $2 billion in positive impact to the Illinois economy. Love it. Listen to this. President of Chicago Teachers Pension Fund oversees a $2 billion positive impact to Illinois economy. Now, for every fucking one of them that wants to tell me that we need to take care of what's happening in Chicago, there you go. How about $2 billion? Is that enough? I mean, brothers are going to do what brothers are going to do, but here we have one that's taking $2 billion and funneling it into the economy to impact it positively. Is that not enough for you? I'm going to chime in with this. It's never going to be enough. I'm going to tell you this. We could stop the shooting, stop the murdering, stop the crime, stop the drugs, stop everything. You think that would stop them? It's an interesting thing to consider, don't you? I mean, they got the ready-made facts always at the fucking just boom. 12% of the population commits what? 80% of the fucking murders now? Some ridiculous fucking claim, while I only hear about lone wolves and fucking mass shooters. Still, I guess you can stick with that if that's where you want to go. But I keep hearing about Chicago. I don't know what's going on in Chicago, and I'm gonna just tell you out and out and plain, I don't give a fuck anymore. I cared initially. And initially the word was people were dying of color. I didn't like that. Coupled with the fact that they were dying at the hands of other people of color. So now I'm a bit perturbed. Then I find out that Negroes are involved. Oh, you caught that? Don't fuck with me, man. Don't fuck with me. There's a reason I don't give a fuck about Chicago. There's a reason. Give a fuck. Y'all you could have taken Chicago the minute that shit started happening. That shit could have ended. They like that shit. That churn and burn shit. Orchestrated, I don't know. A put on, I don't know. You would think, I'm going to say it. It's never enough. Yeah, thank you, Daisy. You would think that, and let's just, folks, just hear me out. You would think that if 12% of the population of 100 total snakes was poisonous, you'd look into that. You'd fix that, especially if you want to keep the snakes. 12% of any population having an adverse percent, 80% of that adverse percent caused by that 12%, bro, we gonna fix that. That's not something we gonna talk about. I think you should consider that. Consider the stats that they keep confronting us with. Stats that overshadow events like the president of Chicago Teachers Pension Fund oversees $2 billion positive impact to the Illinois economy. That takes a back seat to whatever they say about Chicago. And that's purposeful. You can only find it at blacknews.com. AP is not going to cover that. It's not in their interests. That story doesn't have legs. Anyway. All right. So we've I guess we've dabbled a bit in blacknews.com. Let's move on to the Grio. Boom. The Grio. The Grio. What do we got? Okay, so a group in Atlanta arrested during protest fighting against homelessness, which I'm cool with. Fighting against that's just the first thing that pops up. You know what? I don't know why, but there's something behind that triggers. So I want to see. Let's read it. And again, don't want to hear it. Just want to read it. They're about to go into sound on me. No more Band-Aid solutions. We need homes. Atlanta Homeless Union stated in their efforts to combat homelessness. A group of protesters arrested in Atlanta on its City Hall property Monday while standing up to fight homelessness. Who do you protect? Who do you serve? The protesters chanted as people got arrested, which is an interesting way to put that, I would say. They got film, they got photos, it's on Twitter. Now, for those of you that don't follow my Twitter account, it's Rug Dicer. And I would just say any of the news articles that you see me read, I'm going to share on my Twitter. So go join that or go add yourself to my Twitter account. So I need to address this. So what is it they thought they would accomplish by yelling at the Atlanta Homeless Union, or rather the Atlanta Homeless Union yelling at folks at City Hall, standing up to, how do you stand up to fight? How do you fight homelessness? I don't understand that. How do you fight homelessness? How do you go somewhere and rally against homelessness fighting a condition? I don't understand that. I'm going to have to look into that. I don't get it. Can't find much anywhere. I wonder who's giving it to them. I smell setup. I like that. I just thought this was interesting. And they arrested 7 people for trespassing. The Grio. I don't know. They might be searching for stories. That really doesn't have too much. I don't know. Let's see what they got to offer. Oh, here we go. I guess they lead in with the light shit, and then they come in with shit like this. New Jersey man arrested after calling black neighbor the N-word and monkey. But racism doesn't exist. Here we go. Police in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, arrested a man who went on a 6-minute, count it, racist tirade Friday against his neighbors. An interaction caught on camera that led to a community showdown. Here's what he said. Learn your laws. This is not Africa or wherever the fuck you were. Edward Cagney Matthews says to his neighbor, who is black. The man replies in their July 2nd encounter, I was born in America, sir, and I don't give a fuck about you. That is what we really feel. So this is almost like a template to the condition of both of us, of both sides. I mean, this guy, Edward Cagney Matthews, says, learn your laws. This is not Africa or wherever the fuck you were. Now, any other time, I bet they'd tell you this guy's a decent dude. Doesn't fuck with anybody, talks to people politely, minds his business. Nice guy. I guarantee that's the narrative that will come out. And it might be true. It might be true. But isn't it interesting that lying under the surface of so many of them is this fucking sentiment? And the problem that I have is they walk around with this in them at any moment ready to show its ugly face right in yours. And a motherfucker got nerve to feel some kind of way regarding me telling brothers and sisters, perhaps it's time for us to stay the fuck out of Caucasity's face. And I believe that this exercise justifies what I'm saying. This didn't happen in the 50s. This man telling this person, learn your law, this is not Africa. and us having to remind him first that we're born here. But more importantly, we don't give a fuck about you. I mean, how befitting this article. This happened Friday. This didn't happen 50 years ago. That's why I do this. This from The Grio, dated today, the 6th of July, 2021, a red letter day for me, 6 months to the day since I started this, if you wish, tirade against caucasity. So there you can go check that out. Yeah, I mean, I'm 55 too. They've been trying to fight homelessness. What the fuck ever. Stop. Some of these homeless people, you're never going to give homes to. Some of these homeless people will never move into homes. Some homeless people are mentally ill and prefer the freedom, quote unquote, of being out there. Others have offended to society to such a degree that they're not being able to be rented to. Use your imagination. Okay, but back to this. Very interesting. When police arrived, Matthew, 45, told them they had no jurisdiction at his home, going and saying, "Go to talk to these effing Enners." When the officer tells Matthew to stop, he responds, "F you, go talk to the Enners and let them know I'm all about what the F's rights they have. Or what I'm all about and what effing rights they have." This is a motherfucker that did this Friday. And y'all wonder why I'm... You really? Okay. So that's from The Grio. Always ready to provide us, which I think is some quality shit. Quality. Because that, my friends, is quality. And again, if you go to my Twitter page, again, you will see that article. For those of you, Rug Dicer, Rugdicer. That is my Twitter handle. Add me on Twitter. Everything I talk about, I will share here to there, if you will. So that's interesting. That happened. So why, Doug, are you doing this? Well, a lot of folks don't seem to understand. We've tried everything. I'm done trying anything. I say we just stop and wait for the kingdom. I say we don't expect anything from caucasity other than what we've been getting. And we accept that and await the kingdom. Hell, you keep preaching for the damn kingdom every Sunday in the goddamn Baptist church they set up for you. So you might as well mean it. Okay. Black farmers say Biden's efforts to address racial discrimination isn't enough. Now, this again from The Grio. I don't know if you guys understand, but this was happening during the Trump administration, that this rise in racism involving farming has been happening. Preference and predilection of rewarding, well, not us who are farmers, the necessary resources needed to keep our farms and keep them open. So now the black farmers are opening their mouths, and they're saying that Biden's efforts to address racial discrimination in this regard is not enough. I don't even know if USDA understands how rampant the issues are in 2021 in these small local county offices. Black farmers appear not to be fully confident in the Biden administration's efforts to fix the decades-long bias they face through agricultural department programs. Previously reported, The Grio, farmers in America have lost more than 12 million acres of farmland just over this past century as a result of agricultural experts and advocates for black farmers call combination of systematic racism, biased government policy, and social and business practices that have denied black Americans equitable access to markets. Folks, this dated today, the GRIO. I mean, I know you guys can read because you're here. But if we go to the sources that report on our experiences, okay, we go to those sources, we can find the reasons that Doug Rice is doing what he's doing. The reason I say, let's talk. When I say, let's talk, I'm talking to Hebrews, Negroes, I'm talking to us. And there ain't nothing wrong with talking to us. Anytime we reach out and we talk to one another exclusively, they're going to look and they're going to point and they're going to accuse. Fuck them. After January 6th, I don't give a fuck what they do. And that's what I'm talking about. That's my attitude toward caucasity. There you have it. All right, folks, I got to go. Been at this 41 minutes. My voice is going. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you. Thank you. All right.